Hello, hi, how are you? I want just to welcome you to this small podcast whereby I'm going to talk about developing your talent. I've just picked this from what I wrote. I did a book called Maximizing Your Skills and Talents, and I want just to pick a few things that your talent can only be of great value when you develop and you use it to the fullest. In many cases, our talents are raw form. In most cases, our talent, sometimes even we don't even discover that we have any talent, but they require consistent development for them to operate and for them to benefit us. In fact, almost everyone. That is why some people they have some talent and even they cannot be able to discover. They cannot be able, even they have no idea about it. It's in raw form, but it calls for what we call consistent development for you to be able to achieve much and even benefit. Developing your talent is just a continuous process. You have to find a way of doing what you call the daily endeavor, and even requires consistency, commitment, and discipline. That is one thing that probably majority of us we do not really remember, that there is what we call consistency, there is what we call commitment and discipline. And many people say that the reason as to why they have not developed their talents because they lack the resources to do it. Talent development is very little to do with resources, but also it's everything to do with the willingness to grow and increase your capacity. There are those who say, "Oh, I do not have any support to support," which is true to some extent, but also there is also that habit of the willingness to grow and even increase your capacity. So there are those people keep on asking, so how do I develop my talent? How do I develop my talent? Me, probably I can be able to mention a few things, but if you can be able to find my book, you'll be able to find it. You'll be able to find a lot. I have interacted with people, those who run, those who are in athletics, those who are in sports. I remember there's one guy that I met who was so good in soapstone, he could be able to do much. There are people who can be able to write, there are people who can be talents. In fact, in my first chapter, I've mentioned about what is a talent, what is a gift, and then I've tried to explain different things that can be able to qualify under talent. Now, let me just share with you. Probably, I think I can share with you. I have done many points. How can you develop? I have done 8 points, but I think for the sake of time, let me kindly do two. Number one, practice on a daily basis or create intentional time frames for practice, either weekly or daily or what we call monthly. When you have a talent, you must practice and engage your talent on a daily basis until you become better. If you are a singer, you need to sing often, you need to show up in studio, you need to show up in events so that you can be able to improve your ability. Consistent practice the difference between a celebrated achiever and an underachiever in life. You need to create time for your talent. If it's singing, how many times do you practice? How many times do you take to practice? If it's swimming, how many times do you take some time to practice? You have to create some time aside. Yes, you have a talent, but for you to develop it, for you to furnish it, for you to come out outstanding, you must practice. In fact, create intentional time. If you do not, whether you're a cameraman, whether you're a footballer, if you do not create time for practice, yes, you can perform, but we can be able to see that there is no excellence in that. I cannot be able to explain much. People say practice makes perfect, but I can say practice makes permanent. So I want to challenge you that even if you have a talent, you have a gift, if you don't practice, if you don't create intentional time for that, I don't think that you can be able to do much. Number two, acquire new skills. You need new skills in order to succeed. You cannot operate with the same skill sets for several years and expect to succeed. Your skills will amplify your talent to perform more effectively. What you're reading, learning in your field right now, you need to challenge yourself. What kind of information? What is so current? Probably you are this guy who do cheap sum. You can be able to do very nice. So you cannot be able to operate on what people were doing 5 years ago. What is so current right now? So anybody who wants to develop his skill or his talent, you should be able to find ways of getting new skills. Attend new workshops, interact with the people in that field, find ways of getting the magazines which can be able to talk about that. It will depend what you're so skilled about. If it's about singing, if it's about football, if it's about athletics, if it's about drawing, it's about instruments, it's about singing. Are you getting somebody who can be able to update you what is happening right now? What kind of instruments that people are playing? So it's very important for you to find a way of developing new skills for your skill set. You cannot be able to have the same things that you used to do 7 years ago, 5 years ago, and then you expect to compete. It's not easy. Number 3, I said I've done 8 points. Probably I'll be able to mention only 3. Surround yourself with people with like minds, people in the same field. It's very important for you. You're a footballer, hang around with other footballers. You're a singer, hang around. If you're an artist, if you're somebody who can be able to draw, if you're somebody who can be able to do this sculpture and all those things, kindly find ways of making sure that you have a group. You have people that you can be able to interact. What is happening in our field? What is going on? What is so new? What are new trends? What have people discovered? So if you've not read this book, kindly, I will not be able to finish that. That's just a chapter. And I've just only picked 3 points out of 8. This book is going for 500 Kenyan shillings. If you're within Kenya, you can find this book with me. If you're within KC, we have Chancellor Bookshop. If you're in the United States, still, I have my books there. You can be able to find this for only 500 Kenyan shillings. But I know those guys in the United States, it's going for 1,000. Thank you so much, and God bless you. Make sure that you get this book. But the 3 points I've talked about: create intentional time. I've talked about. Another point I have talked about is when you want to develop your talent, get new skills. Number 3, get like minds. And join with them, and then you can be able to develop that. Have a great time. Thank you. My name is Sorry Matuya Rastas.